Yeah, guys. So let's get started. I think we'll have only this many people. We know joined. Yeah. So this is a good number. We can get started. Okay. So I just wanted to highlight the importance of the jobs in third-party risk management. Okay. We'll see. Okay. Let's see. No. I just want to show you this to highlight the importance of this stream in cybersecurity, the TPRM field, what they call it. Okay, you'll at any time there'll be more than like there'll be a lot of opening in any company for third party risk management. Okay, and this is very much a part of cyber security. Okay, today in today's lecture and maybe tomorrow as well, we'll be discussing why this is third party risk management is important, and how do we do third party risk management, and what is the third party risk management life cycle. You see, all this uh, all big companies, all them, Accenture, Goldman Sachs, Standard Chartered, Deloitte, Genpact, PwC, EY, Otis, all this will have this State Street, EY. I'm doing like, and so all these companies, okay, which had the auditing companies or the banks or even the industries, again in the industrial companies, they'll all need to have like a TPRM team or a third party risk management analyst or consultants. Okay, so I, what is TPRM? Can anyone describe third party risk management or VRM, vendor risk management? Come on, guys, anyone? So you can see we can see around 101,832 jobs in TPRM. Okay, there are multiple. Its job is in Oracle as well. So what is TPRM and why it is important? Okay, so there are two aspects of security. One is you're securing your own company. The other is so you'll be designing and implementing controls for your own organization. Another is you'll be someone has posted something. Just a second. Yeah, Ankita.
So your screen is not yet visible, at least not for me. I don't know about others.
Oh shit. Yeah, I was not presenting. Okay. Thank you for reminding me that. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah. All right. So let me talk through. Okay. So if you see here, okay. Now, is it visible, right? It is, right?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
Okay.
it's visible.
So you can see all the job requirements which are there in TPRM. There are a lot of job openings in TPRM as well. You heard about these big four companies? They employ a lot of people in India. This PwC, EY, Deloitte, and KPMG. Okay, they have like I think more than a lakh employees each in India, and even Accenture, TCS, and Wipro. All these have this TPRM practice. Okay, now we'll talk about what TPRM actually is. So third party risk management. Okay, it's a part of cyber security where you won't be securing your own infrastructure, you won't be securing your company's infrastructure, you won't be assessing your company's infrastructure, you won't be assessing your client's infrastructure, you will be assessing your vendor's infrastructure. Okay, so nowadays what happens is a company, okay, they each company will need at least hundreds and hundreds of vendors to run its operations, right? And so what happens is, let's take example of Bank of America. Okay, so their business is finance. They are into banking sector, okay, but they do need IT operation services, right? They do need cloud services as well, because they are such a huge company. They need to have all this service, uh, operation, they need to have all these support functions as well. And but they never invest in these support functions. They don't want to create their own team and spend money and budget on developing support functions. So what they do is they outsource that requirement to a third party like Accenture or TCS or any other consulting company for the matter of fact. Okay, so they'll be outsourcing some of the services to these companies. Okay, and these companies will run in hundreds of. Okay, so one Bank of America or any other company, okay, like let's say Wells Fargo or all these financial clients, even the normal Google, okay, they'll need hundreds and hundreds of vendors to run their operations. Okay, and when they are employing vendors, they'll be sharing their data as well, right? So they'll be sharing their confidential data with these vendors, right? uh, so just hear it out carefully. We don't have slides to talk about this one, so you need to hear what I'm talking about, and you need to research things on Google, okay, later. But yeah, for now, yeah. So when they are sharing data with their vendors, right? It might be confidential data, or it might be PII sensitive data, or like that data can be critical to the company. See, suppose I'm Bank of America, but and I need to get some IT services from TCS, okay? And in order to get that service from TCS, I'll need to share some confidential information with them, or I'll need them to have Bank of America network environment connection, okay? So what happens in that case is, yeah, even if you are securing your own infrastructure, but how do you make sure that your vendor is secure? What will you do to make sure that your vendor is secure? Like, you are making sure that your company is secure by doing pen tests and assessments, security assessments, everything. How do you make sure that the person who you trust, who you have given your data to, trusting them, if they are employing proper controls in place or not? Okay, so that is third party risk management. So one if you give your data to some third party, if you're giving your data to vendors, you need to make sure that the data is in safe hands and a breach or something does not happen. So so for that we do third party risk management. Okay, so now if someone can sum it up in like a sentence or something, please. No one?
Yeah,
Come on, anyone. Yeah.
So
it's like securing data of third party vendors.
Third party. Who is a third party vendor?
It might be the outsourcing company, the bank, as you have said, the bank, or any other organization that requires third party solutions,
Okay, to
IT
you.
solutions.
Okay. Not IT only, it can be multiple legal as well. It can
Yeah,
be insurance service, or wherever you are giving your confidential and critical
data.
data. Okay, so that can be a third. Okay, and just remember that like one third of the cybersecurity jobs will be in third party risk management. Okay, because if you see, uh, if you if you if you look at cybersecurity jobs, okay, one aspect will be securing your company, one aspect will be securing your clients, and the third aspect will be securing your vendors. Okay, making sure your vendors are secure. Okay, all right. So that's why we do third party risk management. So everyone is clear about that. What is third party? We have assessments as well, like which I have prepared. We will discuss this today in the class itself. We'll see all these three questions and try to answer them here only. Okay. Let's go back. Okay. So good definition of it. So this link I'll be sharing in the WhatsApp in our group, as well as in the assignment section as well. Okay. So TPRM is a form of risk management that focuses on identifying and reducing risks related to the use of third parties. Okay. So when you are using a third party, some it can also third parties can also be referred as vendors, suppliers, partners, contractor, or service providers. Okay. Okay. The discipline is designed to give organization an understanding of the third parties they use, how they use them, and what their third parties have in place. Okay, just a second. Sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, so this definition is really good here. The entire thing. What is the importance of the third party risk management? The importance is that the discipline is designed to give organizations an understanding of the third parties they use, how they use them, and what safeguards the third parties have in place. Okay. The scope and requirements of a third party risk management program are dependent on the organization and can vary depending on industry, regulatory guidance, and other factors. Okay. So this can, okay. Why is third party risk management important? So I'll give you a very good example of a breach which happened last year. If you can search about SolarWinds breach, okay, all these are connected in that. So this was in November 2020, okay, and you know more than 20,000 companies were affected by this breach. Okay, so how was it affected? Like SolarWinds used to provide services to like SolarWinds, this Orion network which they have. It's a network monitoring service which was used by more than like I don't know, at least 5,000 of vendors. Okay, at least no, 5,000 of clients. So SolarWinds provided this Orion service to 5,000 of its clients. The hackers, what they did, they attacked SolarWinds Orion network, and they used this network to get into these companies, like whichever clients were there. So 5,000. So by attacking just SolarWinds, they were able to hack into 5,000 companies. So you can understand what the quantum of this hack was. Okay, and like half of the attacks which happened were on US government websites and functions. Okay, uh, yeah. So major firms like Microsoft and top government agencies were attacked and sensitive data was exposed. Okay, uh, SolarWinds was subject of mass cybersecurity attack that spread to companies' client. Okay, so uh, so what happened here? Here, okay, the companies which were trusting SolarWinds with their data, they had given access to SolarWinds to their network. SolarWinds could not did not have proper controls in place. That's why SolarWinds was breached. But the client did not know that SolarWinds did not have proper controls in place. So hence it becomes more important. Like so, once you are hiring a vendor to provide some service, you need to do your due diligence properly. You need to look at their security infrastructure from all aspects. Okay, you need to make sure that if you are sending them your data, they are secure. They are secure. They won't be breached. Okay, so most 90% of the hacks, major hacks which have happened in the world were uh, were through this thing, were through vendors. Okay, so you would have heard a very famous hack, Sony hack, which happened in 2016. Okay, so that was one peculiar hack which happened. The hackers got into the HVAC system of Sony's this thing. HVAC provider, the vendor which provided them heating ventilation services, okay, in Sony's headquarters, they were hacked, and this attack was like the HVAC system was used to get into the Sony servers. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell is like most of the hacks which happens due to your vendors. Okay, even if you are not directly affected, like if you are not directly breached, it will be like you'll be breached because of your vendor. So you need to be sure that you not only should be sure of your security posture, you should be sure of your third party's security posture as well. Okay, all right. So that is what so when we talk about the importance of uh, third party risk management, yeah, just remember that to make yourself sure, you need to be covered from all angles, and that means you need to make sure that your vendors are covered too. Okay, see, uh, so this is an example. Okay, for example, you may rely on a service provider such as AWS to host a website or cloud application. should AWS go offline, your website or application also goes offline. So you are indirectly being affected by what happens to AWS, right? So you need to make sure that AWS is always online. And in order to do that, you need to make sure that they have proper controls in place. Correct? Just a second. Yeah. So, all right. Now, let's talk about what are the TPRM best practices. Instead of talking about this, we'll talk more on how we do TPRM business. Okay, how we do it. So I'll tell you the process how it happens in a company. Okay, and you need to remember this. And if someone asks this in the interview, you need to tell this. Okay, and I'll be making sure that you have good knowledge when you are facing TPRM interviews as well. Okay, so yeah, how this TPRM function happens. Okay, so suppose I am the engineering team. Okay, I am developing a application for my company. In order to develop that application, I need to I need to get I'll be storing the data in AWS. Okay, so the critical data will go to AWS. Okay, so now in order to do that, I'll need to request from the InfoSec team. I'll be raising a request to hire services of AWS. Okay, uh, now the InfoSec team will contact AWS. They'll ask AWS to assign a security person who can work with our companies to answer our concerns and prior questions related to security. Now, AWS will assign a security manager. Okay, this and we will connect with the security manager. Okay, and after that, what happens is generally, like uh, generally what happens is the like suppose FireEye. Okay, FireEye will be sending them initial RFP questionnaire. Okay, let's see what an SIG is. Okay, they'll ask you what a SIG is. uh, mm, I don't want the demo. Let me see. Okay, this is not available for download. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's leave it there. Okay. So yeah, how the process works, we'll get back to that. Okay. So engineering team told me that they want AWS. They want to use AWS as a vendor. Okay. The InfoSec team will get in touch with AWS. They'll ask them to assign a security person to work with them. Okay. After that, the InfoSec team of FireEye. Okay. Let's say. Okay. Uh, I'll reach out to AWS with a questionnaire. Okay, a questionnaire can be like it's a RFP, request for proposal, something like that. Okay, a questionnaire is the data collection part of the security assessment which we are doing. We have to conduct a security assessment of AWS in order to approve their purchase. Okay, so we have to conduct a security assessment. Now, security assessments can be conducted in different ways. We had spoken about like either we can do intrusive or non-intrusive security assessment, right? So intrusive is something like we do pen tests on them, or we run some attack surface management tools or something and try to gather information. But that is in non-intrusive won't get us like all the aspects of their security. So that's why we need to do non-intrusive. We need to conduct this thing. We need to conduct a vendor risk management on them. Okay, risk assessment on them. To conduct a risk assessment on them, we need to first share a questionnaire, empty questionnaire. Okay, the questionnaire can either be our we can have our customized questionnaire. Okay, that questionnaire can contain all the security controls that we want them to have. Okay, like generally all this risk 18 domains of the ISO and or HIPAA or NIST, all those are included in a questionnaire. Okay, so if you see, these are the domains which we need to ask them questions on. Okay, so this will be sent. Let me share an example. Okay, uh, security questionnaire examples. Okay. No. No. Need a proper, just a second, sorry for that. Where is it? Need an example. Okay, let's see only this in here. So see, these are some of the examples. Okay, either it can be so it's mostly like a Excel sheet or something like a portal, which will, if you see here, yeah, see, this is it. Okay, we'll be sharing our security requirements with the vendor. Will, in this case, AWS. Okay, will be like, see, these are our requirements. This is what we want you to answer. Okay, questions related to information security, data center security, web application security, infrastructure protection. It can be like all these domains are included. Okay, right from enterprise risk management to cloud hosting, security policy, HR, IT ops, access control. So where else did you see all these things? It were there in ISO and the PCI, right? Those only, those we assess our vendors based on those frameworks only. Okay, so we'll be like, these are our questions, please answer those. Okay, so see, the questions are here. They'll answer yes, no, and they'll provide some additional comments, and they'll provide like they'll provide us the policies and supporting evidences on that. Okay, so that is how it works. They'll respond to our questions, okay, with supporting evidence and documents that they have that control in place. Once it get back to it, once the RFP, the questionnaire comes back to us, okay, then we need to assess it. The infosec analyst or someone will assess whatever has been provided, whatever answers have been provided, and uh, we need to come up with observations. If they don't have some security controls in place, we need to come up with the risk matrix. What if not having that control, what risks can arise? And like we provide them a risk rating. How, what is their risk of hiring that vendor? If they have all the controls in place, the risk of hiring them will be low. Like we can go ahead and hire them without thinking twice. If they are missing some controls, the risk of hiring them might be a little more, because it might be medium risk, because they are missing some critical controls, like they do not do pen test on their environment, or they do not have multi-factor authentication, or they do not use VPN. They have said no to all these things. That means they are lacking these controls. That means that that company might be at risk of losing our data. So if we give our data to them, they might lose it, or they might suffer a breach. Okay, so that is how we assess it. Okay, so once we get it back, we make our notes. We need to make sure that will assess their security posture, come up with the risk rating, and based on the risk rating, we need to provide a judgment, like if you can go ahead and hire that vendor, or if you can not hire that vendor. We do not want to hire that vendor. Okay, so some of the, like, this is a very vast field actually, and you get like proper full-time jobs in TPRM. Okay, you need to, like, suppose Bank of America hires you to conduct TPR risk assessment on their vendors. So they have thousands of vendors. We will need to keep on doing risk assessments on these vendors and the critical vendors. Okay, most of these companies, they'll categorize their vendors into tiers, okay, on based on the criticality. So the vendors which have access to their network, or which are handling their critical data, they'll be categorized as tier one vendors. The vendors which have like somewhat normal data, they will be categorized as tier two, and tier three are those which will be providing catering service or facility service or security guard service, like people who do not have access to the any kind of client data. So those are tier threes. Okay, and we generally pass them for infosec without conducting an infosec review. Just yeah, go ahead. Certification for risk assessment. Can you elaborate more? What was finished?
The basic certifications that we need to have, to get a basic risk assessment jobs.
Okay, ISO 27001.
Okay.
All right. So that will make you can get a job if you know that, if you have that certification, and that's easy to get also. Like you need to attend a 5 days boot camp, full 5 days boot camp. Okay, at the end of the fifth day, they'll take a test and provide you with the certification. That's an easy test. You just need to attend 5 days, full 5 days. It can be provided by BSI, British Standards Institute, or there is one more, PCOAB. So those two companies, I don't know PCOAB or something, but yeah, BSI definitely provides that. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Rahul,
Yeah. Sorry.
what's the cost for this certification?
30,000.
How much?
30,000. 30,000.
30. Okay.
30. Yeah. 30. Yeah. You can search for it as well. Okay. So yeah, let's come back and talk more on. Actually, this is like vendor risk management is a very interesting field. Okay, you'll get to look at security postures of many companies. Like if you in a month, if you are doing, you will be able to do like 100 assessments, and you look at like security postures of and security policies, their network diagrams, their pen test reports, all security documents of some of vendors. You will be able to like look and judge, like you will provide your judgment. And yeah, one thing is, like, we do not go into deep. Okay, so that is the difference between an audit and assessment. Okay, in audit you will have to like go into deep and scratch the surface and dig in deep and get evidence to do that. But assessment is like you just look at the controls from surface, and mostly for vendors we just conduct assessments and do not go with audits, because audit takes a lot of time. And assessment is just that, like, we'll look at policies, we'll just take one or two examples, evidences, and like pass it off. Okay, so that is how we do it. Okay, the process, like, and some examples of these questionnaires are SIG. It's very famous. Shared assessments, SIG, standard information gathering questionnaire. Okay, and most of the like TPRM jobs, they'll be using SIG to collect information. Okay, SIG is nothing but a security questionnaire. Okay, you see all these companies use it. Okay, that's like really, like, they have a big client base. Okay, so most of these companies are using SIG to collect information on their vendors. Okay, SIG is a big like, it has all these 18 domains. It has around 1,000 security controls which it wants to be answered. Okay, it can be answered in simple yes or no, or you can provide additional comments also. So it covers all the security aspects of a company. It will just get a summary. It will give you a summary of your vendor's security posture. Okay, so that's SIG, standard information gathering. SIG questionnaire. Okay, it's by a company called Share Assessments. Now, so one way of collecting information on your vendor is SIG. Okay, other there are other ways as well. Other ways are like you get a score card. So there are companies like BitSight. Okay, so what they do is BitSight provides rating for each company on the based on the cybersecurity posture. Okay, so you can just go to BitSight. You can look at companies this thing. What is their cybersecurity risk rating, and what all controls they have and what all controls they are missing. Okay, so this tool, it comes for enterprise. It's not free. Okay, BitSight, they'll provide you the risk rating for all, like the companies. Suppose you want a risk rating for some company called, let's say, small company, InfoEdge or something. Okay, so you'll go to BitSight, you'll type that company name, and you can see ratings of that company. And based on that rating, you can make your judgment if you should go with that vendor or not. Okay, then after BitSight, there are other companies as well, like TrueScore or TrueScore, right? No, not TrueScore. What was that? Average. Okay, and assessment tools. Okay, so there are many. There is OneTrust, and all those are there. Okay, interactive way. Okay, so yeah, and different companies will use, just like SIM. All these companies, they have like different tools which they use to conduct third-party risk management. Okay, so there are companies like MetricStream and Aptega and Oracle as well. Oracle also has a third-party risk management module. There is a company called Archer, RSA Archer, which is very famous for third-party risk management. Then you have tools from SAP. You have tools from which all company has TrueSight. All this company have a third-party risk management tool. Okay, and it is actually like it makes company's job really easy, because each company has to manage thousands and thousands of vendors. They have to keep track of what data is going to which vendor. Okay, and so you need to have that data in one place, and that is done by all these tools like uh, BitSight and all those. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so okay, so when we talk about cybersecurity risks, okay, right, when considering a third-party risk or vendor risk management program, many organizations immediately think about cybersecurity risk. We are just thinking about cybersecurity risk, okay? But TPRM entails so much more. While starting small and focusing only on cybersecurity risk is a good step, there are other type of risks that need to be prioritized. Reputational risk, geographical risk, geopolitics risk. All this needs to be prioritized whenever you are hiring a vendor. Okay, you need to look at all these things. What is the reputational, like if you are, like suppose you are AWS, okay, and you are doing business with some shoddy firms in Russia which have a reputation of like providing hacking service, all those. So yeah, and there is compliance risk, privacy risk. All these things needs to be considered when you are hiring a vendor to provide service. Okay, and okay, the next one is, what is a third-party risk management life cycle? So this is what we were talking about, like the process in which we conduct our, like how we, the entire life cycle management of third party. Okay, so first, so let's take an example with this and start. Okay, so my engineering team, okay, they are building a application, okay. Let's say something, they are building some application, mm, okay, a random application, and they need cloud hosting and cloud storage service. uh, uh, they want to host that application in the cloud. They want to have the data stored in the cloud only, and hosting, storage, and all these services they want to take from cloud. Okay. Now, in order, so which all vendors can satisfy the need? They'll need to identify the vendors first. Which all vendors will be helpful? So AWS, Azure, GS, Google, GCP, or Oracle, or many more like Rackspace, Salesforce, whatever comes in mind. Okay, so you have to identify the vendor first. Okay, then you need to do evaluation and selection of the vendor. Okay, you need to consider many things. Okay, price consideration. What benefits are they offering? What is the features and all those things you need to select. Like just like a normal consumer, you need to look and do it for yourself. Like you need to compare with between vendors, right? Once you have selected like 2 3 vendors, then you need to conduct a risk assessment on them. Well, we are discussing like risk assessment can be done either by intrusive or non-intrusive ways. Intrusive can be pen testing and scanning their all those things. However, non-intrusive way is preferred. Non-intrusive can be doing like assessment on them. You will send them a questionnaire, they'll respond. You will analyze the questionnaire. You will form your opinion on them, or you can do a full-blown audit as well. So that is risk assessment. You are once you have done the risk assessment, you will find some risks. Like suppose some critical risks are found, you need to mitigate those risks. You need to come up like you need to talk with the vendor. You will be like, hey, look, we have found these risks and these observations. These are severe risks. We need you to fix this. If you want our business, if you want to get in business with us, you need to have this control in place. Okay. So if they do it well and good, otherwise you move to the next vendor. Okay. And if they want your business, they'll definitely go ahead and fix that thing for you. Okay. So once they have done the risk mitigation, there is this contracting and procurement phase where you talk about the SLAs, the service level agreements, the RTO, the RPO. We'll talk about RTO and RPO here as well. Okay. And MSA, master service agreement, all those needs to be done with the vendors. Okay. Because so all those are required very much. Okay. And then reporting and record keeping, this is not like, I don't think it's very important, but yeah, ongoing monitoring becomes so once you hire a vendor, you cannot like trust them for life, right? So you cannot assume that they'll be secure throughout the time you are doing business with them. So you need to conduct regular assessments of them, like a yearly or semi-annual something audit you need to conduct of them. Okay. Once once you have concluded business with them, once you are like no longer in business, you need to make sure that all your data that the company has been deleted. Okay. Like whatever data you have given to them is either returned to you or is deleted. So that is the vendor offboarding part. Okay. So let's talk about. Okay, so there are 4 or 5 kinds of agreements which like are signed with the vendor. One is a service level agreement. Okay, that is like if you are procuring a vendor. Okay, they'll in the SLAs will highlight all the milestones and what they need to do. Like they'll provide this service at this time. They'll be available 24/7, or they'll be available only during the business hours. You need to set expectation for the service which they are providing, right? They'll communicate the incident within 2 days or 3 days. If the data breach happens, they'll communicate it or not. Things like that needs to be set. So that's SLA document, and MSA is master service level agreement. Like all contractual clauses it will have. So you need to have that also with your vendor. Okay. Then you need to set an RTO and RPO. So RTO is recovery time objective, and RPO is recovery point objective. Okay, we'll see those 2 things when we talk about cloud and business continuity management as well. Okay, so yeah, uh, so that is the third party risk management life cycle. Okay, and this the phase has been like it has been given here. Okay, the what you need to evaluation, everything is given. You can just look at all this. Okay, I'll be sharing the link anyways. Okay, so okay, so these are the benefits of third party risk management software. With everything is there. Okay, all that are given. Mm, mm. Okay, yeah. Some common standards used for assessing vendors. Okay, so ISO 27001, right? This is like the most common one which vendors we use to assess our vendors. So all the domains which are there in ISO 27001 will be like, do you satisfy that? Please provide examples. Like, please do. We'll be sending some questionnaire which will have questions related to ISO 27001. Then, yeah, other assessments, SIG Light and SIG Core, which we are discussing. Okay, Light is like the small version of SIG, and Core is like you want more and more details. Then the CAIQ is Cloud Assessment Inquiry Questionnaire, and then NIST Service Pack 853. So these are the common frameworks which are used to assess vendors. Just remember that. Okay. And industry specific standards are High Trust or HECVAT. Okay, so all these are there. All right. I think this is too much theory, I know, but yeah, if you like just know the basics of TPRM, I think you will be able to land a good job in this field. And just there are 4 to 5 questions, tasks in the assignment, okay, which please do it diligently, and just research things about. I'll add 1 or 2 more questions in the assignment to do, okay, about SIG and all those things, so that you have an idea about those things when you face an interview. Okay. Uh, Also, some questionnaires. I'll share examples of questionnaires, like proper questionnaires. I'll share, which will give you more insight on those things. Okay. Right. So that is all I had for today, guys. Okay, you can shoot your questions now. Go ahead. Anyone, any questions? Or it went all through your head, like didn't go through anything? What is there in your mind? Please tell.
So, you have told us that we don't need any certifications, but
Yeah, correct.
now you mentioned, so we don't need it as of now, no?
You are not. You don't need it. Don't worry about that. Okay. We just asked. That's why I.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
And so, what kind of pay range we can expect in this job? Third party.
TPRM is a good field actually.
Okay.
So you can like expect it. It has multiple, all these big four companies, no, like they are really good companies, big MNCs. They'll give you like jobs in the this thing other countries as well. Like they are located all across the globe. So that's actually, yeah, it will be a good paying job, and you'll get a job easily in that.
And sir, like, hello.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like, are this means third party risk management job are offered to freshers?
Yes, they are. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, so can we close the session for today? Also, I wanted, are you guys available tomorrow the same time? Wednesday, I have a meeting, will go on till 12 in the night. So I just wanted to take Wednesday session tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm
Yes, yes.
available.
All right. All right. So yeah, pay more. Yeah, so TPRM would be a easy win for you guys. Okay. This is like small field. However, it will give you like it can get you jobs. So I'll just ask you to be a little serious when you're doing the assignment for TPRM. Okay, just learn the concept, how it's done, and you'll be good.
Okay, Rahul.
Okay, all right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys. Yeah, see you tomorrow then.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye, Rahul. Good night.
All right.